This is a very real review of the Osmo Pocket 2 after 6 solid months of continuous usage of it. I felt that there were just too many famous channels who reviewed this gadget after owning it for only a couple of hours back in November of 2020 when the Osmo Pocket 2 was just released. And many of these reviews that you watch were probably sponsored. If you are extremely impatient and want a verdict on this device, buy it. Close this video and just buy it. If you want to know why, then carry on watching. But warning, this video will be a long video on things most other reviewers might not tell you, with information that can only come through extensive usage. It will also not cover in depth on typical Osmo Pocket 2 information that most other reviews would have already covered. I have used this device so extensively and have the battle scars to prove it. Look at how many scratches I have on this. Almost every scratch represents a point in time where I dropped this. And trust me, I dropped this a lot. Which shows how often I carry this around, which shows how much I love it. Filming this review is extremely difficult as I am so used to filming using the Osmo Pocket 2. Now I'm using my Sony a6400. I even contemplated getting one more for my wife, but partly so that I can have an extra Osmo Pocket 2 to play with. Let's begin this review by talking about the do-it-all handle. I know it's funny because no other Osmo Pocket 2 review begins with starting with the do-it-all handle, but it is that important. I have never left home without attaching the do-it-all handle to the Osmo Pocket 2. Never. I will be spending more time talking about this. Do-it-all handle? It is important. The biggest reason for getting the do-it-all handle is due to the wireless microphone unit that comes along with it. It is a must-have, especially for vloggers. I used it so much that the grey coloured windscreen has become a shade of brown. That's how dirty it is. If you are buying the Osmo Pocket 2 without the creator combo, I'm sorry, it says in my script that I have to make a sarcastic face, then don't buy the Osmo Pocket 2 at all. I kid you not, without the combo kit, then just go with your handphone camera, your mobile phone, and a cheap mobile gimbal. You will get the same results as the Osmo Pocket 2, unless you simply want the Osmo Pocket 2 to record video discreetly because it is so small and unsuspecting without the do-it-all handle. Now, back to the wireless microphone. The battery life on a single charge lasts twice to almost 3 times the battery life of the Osmo Pocket. With that said, when I take my Osmo Pocket 2 out for a day of events, I will usually just leave my wireless microphone on the entire day. DJI claims the wireless microphone lasts up to 6 hours. I can testify to that. 6 hours is pretty awesome and professional. Very much comparable to my Rode Wireless Go 2's battery life of 7 hours. Come on guys, you know what that means? It means you're getting the Osmo Pocket 2's wireless microphone that is almost as good as this famous $350 Rode Wireless Go 2's microphones. Did I say more? DJI also says that the Osmo Pocket 2 lasts for 140 minutes, which is 2 hours and 20 minutes. That is true in most of my cases, but the do-it-all handle, which is almost permanently attached to my Osmo Pocket 2, does drain the battery faster. Just yesterday, I did a 1-hour shoot and it brought the battery down to 20% with the mobile app and the wireless microphone connected to it. That is why I always carry my charger around as a backup wherever I go. So, battery. Without the do-it-all handle, 2 hours 20 minutes. With the do-it-all handle attached, 1 hour 12 minutes. As mentioned, this 1 hour and 12 minutes is with many devices connected to the do-it-all handle. And these are just my own statistics. Feel free to leave a comment below on how your very own Osmo Pocket 2 device performs. Next, connectivity. I always transfer files over to the DJI MIMO application using the wireless function of the do-it-all handle. I have tried and experimented many ways of transferring files to the DJI MIMO app. Firstly, using a USB cable from the do-it-all handle to my mobile phone, using the do-it-all handle's Wi-Fi to my mobile phone. The fastest way is still the do-it-all handle's Wi-Fi, as it is the most convenient and it transfers at 25 megabytes per second, which is fast enough if you are transferring 10 to 20 gigabytes of data from Osmo Pocket 2 to the DJI MIMO app. Now, you might be asking, Glenn, why do you want to transfer files to the DJI MIMO app instead of just directly to your PC or your Mac? Which brings me to my next point, Glamour Effects. The Osmo Pocket 2 comes with a filter effect called Glamour Effects, which rivals beauty softwares like Meitu, YouCam, FaceLab, and many others out there. What it does is this. It makes your eyes look bigger, smoothens your face complexion, gives you a sharper chin, so forth and so on. So this is extremely big for Asians. I noticed that Westerners and Caucasians don't usually like such filters, but I may be wrong. Please don't quote me. I'm not a racist, yeah? Just a personal observation. I personally use this a lot. Guilty as charged, okay? But hey, even if I'm racist against my own race, right? One good thing about the Glamour Effect in the Osmo Pocket 2 is you are able to select the intensity of this Glamour Effects from 1% to 100% using a slider in the MIMO app, which is what I want to talk about. So for people who want a more natural look after being beautified, you still can go for that. The reason why I use the DJI MIMO app is that if you want to transfer your footage from your Osmo Pocket 2 with the Glamour Effects on, it is a must and mandatory to transfer it using the DJI MIMO application. You are unable to simply transfer your footages over to your PC or Mac directly with the Glamour Effects. It is just the way it is, which means Osmo Pocket 2 transfer to mobile phone and mobile phone transfer to the PC, which it can be quite tedious at times. 3 steps, 2 steps. Another important thing to note, the Osmo Pocket 2 device will transfer your footages over to your mobile phone first, then followed by adding the Glamour Effects to your footage while the Osmo Pocket 2 is still connected to your mobile phone. Important, if transferring the footage takes 10 minutes to your mobile phone, adding the Glamour Effects will take a further 15 to 20 minutes, which makes transferring footages with Glamour Effects to be an extremely long and time-consuming experience. This is in fact one of the most cumbersome experience of owning an Osmo Pocket 2. But aside from that, the device still rocks. Feel free to leave comments below, because I tried to Google answers and solutions around this, I could not find any. In fact, when I first got the Osmo Pocket 2 and I switched on the Glamour Effects and I tried to transfer the files to my mobile phone and it took so long, I tried to find solutions online, I really could not find any. No videos, no tutorials. There is just a downside. The Glamour Effect only works in 1080p, 24 to 30 frames per second. So if you want to shoot in 4K or 2.7K or in 60 frames per second, you're not able to add the Glamour Effects into your Osmo Pocket 2 footage. The last reason why I love the do-it-all handle is the fact that I'm able to use my mobile phone as a feedback monitor. When I'm doing my professional shoots, I know people will beg to differ because the moment you mention an Osmo Pocket 2 and the word professional, they'll be like, that can't happen, especially equipment and gear junkies. Most people who own DSLR video cameras like the Sony a6400 series or other more professional grade video cameras would know that the inbuilt screen is so tiny, you would usually have to spend $100 to $200 extra on an extra feedback monitor. In this case of the Osmo Pocket 2, you have an entire professional videography equipment set all in one. Seriously, it is that good. If you're looking to start out on vlogging, if you have a business that needs an all-in-one equipment set for product shoots, if you need something light and easy to use, you are looking at it. We are all not, well, most of us are not professional videographers. We seriously don't need DSLRs these days, unless you are looking to upgrade your video quality or to have background blurs using a lower aperture. The Osmo Pocket 2 is good enough. Also, I do feel that a 1.8 aperture is good enough for background blurs. Now let's go into the standard Osmo Pocket 2 standard information. Resolution and frames per second. The Osmo Pocket 2 allows you to film in resolutions of 1080p, 2.7K and 4K. The higher the resolution, the sharper your image. Honestly, unless you are that professional, 1080p is sufficient for YouTube and vlogs. And it also saves you a lot of disk space on your computer and mobile phone. It allows you a maximum of 60 frames per second on each resolution. Now, why is this important? For the layman, this is important because if you want to have footages whereby you want to do a slow motion during your post-processing in softwares like Premiere Pro, you will need at least a 60 frames per second. If 60 frames per second is not enough, there is a mode that allows you to shoot at 120 frames per second called a slow-mo mode. How awesome! Everything in this little package. I'm just hoping for a time where DJI will just sponsor me for pushing out their products so much. But I really love this. Next is the wide-angle 20mm lens and the 1.8 aperture. The pretty wide-angle 20mm lens on the Osmo Pocket 2 is, trust me, sufficient. I've had to use it in tight spaces and done vlogs, product reviews in tight spaces whereby Jesse and myself, two-person, were on screen no issues at all. And if you still find it not wide enough, 15mm lens. Ta-da! DJI provided an extra attachable lens that is going to make your experience a lot more delightful, causing your field of view to be at 15mm with the attachable lens. Attachable by a strong magnetic force. If you still have anything to complain about, you're seriously a spoiled brat from a first world country. Just kidding. However, the 15mm lens is not something you will be bringing everywhere with you because it drops off way too easily. I have almost lost this lens a couple of times. It now sits nicely in this container of mine, and the only time I even take it out to use it is when I am, see, it just dropped. Because it is that small. Is when I am doing indoor stationary shoots in a tight space and I need the extra wide angle. And straight after I shoot, it goes straight back into the box. The 1.88mm aperture lens makes it sufficient. Trust me, it is sufficient to make your subject stand out and create a nice depth of field, separating the foreground and the background. Trust me, it is enough. Trust me on this. Because I know when people are starting out on YouTube or vlogging or Facebook Live or TikTok, the things that matter when purchasing a video camera are, is the lens wide enough to take selfie videos? Or is the aperture number small enough to create a nice background blur? In short, the Osmo Pocket 2 is enough. It is enough. Now, the 3-axis gimbal. The 3-axis gimbal allows you to have buttery smooth footages which allow you to pan left and right and tilt up and down. I won't go too much into this and many other standard Osmo Pocket 2 features as there are many other reviews out there on this. However, I did compare this with 3 other gimbals that I own. The Zhiyun Webuild S, that cost me $350, the Zhiyun Smooth Q2 mobile phone gimbal, which cost me $180, and the Zhiyun Smooth X, which cost me $70. Truth be told, it didn't feel as smooth as some of them. But the reason is because the Osmo Pocket 2 is so small that slight jerks and small movements does cause it to shake. If you hold it with steady hand, it would be just as good. Nevertheless, the gimbal is still super awesome, and with its compact size, I'd rather be taking this everywhere with me, rather than something as big as this just to do simple vlogging with my Sony a6400 attached to it. Super duper heavy. I think we're talking about like 3 kilograms of weight. However, I must mention that the Zhiyun Smooth Q2 paired with my Samsung Galaxy S10 Plus gave a smoother footage versus the Osmo Pocket 2. It is pronounced as Zhiyun, not Zhiyun. One day I'll give a lesson on Chinese. Face tracking. The face tracking feature is super duper useful. The number of times I have had to use it till date is 0. The camera follows you each time you move around. Well, not because it is useless, far from it. I just haven't had a chance or a particular video that I would like to make use of that feature so far. Come on, have you ever seen a famous videographer or YouTuber use this feature often? Frequently? In terms of having a replacement cameraman by using this feature, I think it would work pretty well. I just haven't had a video that I had a need to use it. You might use it for recording your own presentations and such, for a school assignment, so forth and so on. Next, for vlogging, YouTube kinds of content, this baby works very well, especially with good lighting. Well, which camera doesn't work well with good lighting? If you think that you really require a professional grade or middle grade DSLR for your YouTube channel, seriously, you don't. This is good enough. It just doesn't have as much background blur as a DSLR camera. Check out my product reviews to see how well it fares. I shot the entire speaker review on my Osmo Pocket 2. It is good enough. I repeat, it's good enough. Oh, this review is long. This product is really feature-packed. The Osmo Pocket 2 runs on an external micro SD card. After inserting a 64GB micro SD, you should only have about 58.8GB of space to work with, which is very, extremely sufficient. The good thing is that even if you run out of space while you are on the go, you can always transfer files to your mobile phone immediately and continue working on a fresh new 58.8GB thereafter. I record most of my footages on 1080p, 24 frames per second, and a full day of shooting usually only takes up 4 to 10 gigabytes of space. So you do the math. Of course, it will take up way more space when shooting in 2.7K or 4K. Memory storage check, no issues on this one. Connectivity. Using the do-it-all handle to connect to my mobile phone is super seamless. But strangely, starting from 2 months ago, I was having some connectivity issues. I had to press the connect button 2 to 3 times before it connects. The first 2 months, synchronizing was crazy smooth. Thereafter, there seemed to be some lag in getting the Osmo Pocket 2 to connect my mobile phone. Let me know in the comments below if you are experiencing the same thing. Whew. Buttons. The buttons work very well after you have memorized them. The arcade-style joystick controls the gimbal. This button here cycles through 3 different gimbal modes: FPV, follow mode, and tilt lock. I use the follow mode 99.99999% of the time. Nope, I won't be explaining these modes in this video. Go and Google it. The red dotted record button is for brewing you a cup of coffee and washing your underwear. Come on guys, does this even need any explaining? It is to switch on your air conditioner. The right-hand lower button is the most important button for me. Single pressing it changes it to photo mode. Pressing it again cycles it back to video mode. I hate it as I never use photo mode ever on the Osmo Pocket 2. I don't take pictures with the Osmo Pocket 2. Yet, there is no feature to turn this mode off. Double pressing it centers the camera, a very useful feature to have. And triple pressing it rotates the camera to become a rear-facing camera, most important feature to me. Doing it again changes it back to a front-facing camera. Honestly speaking, I wish I could change this triple press function into a single press function as I use this feature the most. Due to human error, we sometimes accidentally press it twice instead of 3 times. Having to press it 3 times is just 1 time too many. This could really use some nice changes here, hopefully in a software update. I wish DJI could allow us to customize the button presses. Live stream. This is huge. Casual Facebook and YouTube live streamers out there, explain to me, how much do you hate your audio quality and sometimes video quality if you were to live stream using just your mobile phone? Just imagine this. Without spending an additional cent, after you have bought your Osmo Pocket 2, you can now live stream with way better audio quality using either the built-in 4-way microphone. I'm not really live streaming, I'm just pretending. On the Osmo Pocket 2 or the wireless microphone, but you definitely need the do-it-all handle for this. Really? With the price that you are paying, you are getting so many features. I could cry right now. If you already have a live stream setup, okay, this is just a good to have value add to your collection. If you are new to the world of YouTube, vlogging, or simply want to chuck away or store away all your heavy equipment in one and all-in-one solution, especially when you realize it's not the video equipment, but the ideas and content that makes one a successful content creator, this is the best value that you could ever spend on in 2021 to make your life so awesome. I feel like this is the best thing that ever happened to me. Aside from my wife, who will kill me if I choose a piece of gadget over her. Sound recording. Now, this is super important. No, I am not going to the extent of showing you sound comparison, as there are way more than enough YouTube videos out there doing it. The Osmo Pocket 2 itself has 4 microphones to record all the sound you ever did, 1 on each side. When the camera is facing forward, the technology even recognizes it and emphasizes on recording audio that's coming from the front. Same thing in the selfie mode. It would emphasize on audio that's coming from you or from the back. The thing that frustrates content creators most when they use an external microphone is when they are only able to record sound from one direction. This is solved by DJI. The sound and voice recording on the built-in microphone is extremely impressive. To a certain extent, it almost rivals having a cheap $30 external microphone with a windshield on it. It is that good. Almost that good. There were many times when I did not bring my wireless microphone and the sound quality was still good without picking up too much background noise. Really quality stuff here. Of course, for every other situation, I'm definitely carrying the Osmo Pocket 2's wireless microphone wherever I go. I like my voice to be clear without any background noise interference, and this is the real deal. Although I have the Rode Wireless Go 2, I still prefer to use this instead, as I do not need any additional accessories to connect to the Osmo Pocket 2. When I use the Rode Wireless Go 2 because I need extra microphones, then I would use this selfie stick by Ulanzi. When I do my YouTube videos, I love this wireless microphone as I don't have to deal with wires from other external microphones. It boasts of a 6-hour battery life, which is more than enough for any shoot. The connectivity to the Osmo Pocket 2 is seamless and fast. However, not fast enough. Sometimes when I switch on the Osmo Pocket 2, it takes 3 seconds to boot up, 2 seconds to connect the do-it-all handle, and another 1 to 2 seconds to connect the wireless microphone. Sometimes they may even do a SD card initialization, which takes another 2 seconds. Now that is a huge 7 to 9 seconds, causing me to miss some of the moments I would like to capture. Just take note of that, although it hasn't really been that big a deal for me. Wow, this gadget is so packed with features. Some things I won't be talking about is there is a story mode, a panoramic mode, a HDR video mode, and slow-mo mode. There is also a time-lapse mode, which I use pretty often to capture the entire atmosphere over a span of time. The time-lapse mode is broken down into 3 different kinds: time-lapse, motion lapse, and hyperlapse. In short, I use the hyperlapse feature so often, and if you buy the Osmo Pocket 2, you would be using this feature a lot as well. Touchscreen. The touchscreen is what you will use most to switch between filming modes and choosing your frames per second and resolutions and such. All I can say is that this isn't the best, but it works. The touchscreen is extremely responsive. It just can be a little bit frustrating when you want to switch between functions like normal video recording and time-lapse. Having to swipe here and there, I wish the Osmo Pocket 3 in the future will have some additional buttons that allow you to preset your favorite shooting modes that will really make this piece of device the ultimate machine. I know I'm asking for too much here, okay? I know I'm asking for too much here, okay? First world problem. Now, tripod. The Osmo Pocket 2 comes included with a unique skinny spider-legged tripod. I don't use this ever. I'll explain why later. Next up is the mobility, which is the most important segment of this whole review. I will now share with you how I have adapted the Osmo Pocket 2 into my daily life. This is in fact the most important segment of this review of the video, and the main reason why I carry this with me everywhere I go. Firstly, it doesn't fit into my pocket well at all with the do-it-all handle. Nope, not at all. If you wear a pair of jeans, forget it. There's no way you can fit it into your jeans and sit down on a chair or squat down on the floor, unless you would like to brag about a bulge in your pants. The only time I place the entire thing into my jeans pocket is when I'm standing up, and even that feels pretty uncomfortable, especially when there is already something huge. And that is why I have this setup here, and this is my secret. I bought the quick release system called the Ulanzi Claw Quick Release System. As we pause here in my awkward position, do check out my video that further emphasizes my usage of the Osmo Pocket 2 with my Ulanzi Quick Claw system that is very, very important. Click on the link above. I had also bought the Ulanzi Claw Backpack Quick Release System. With this, I have attached the Osmo Pocket 2's casing onto the Ulanzi Quick Claw Backpack Quick Release System, which is attached to backpack or sling pack. Remember I said earlier why I hated the Osmo Pocket 2's included tripod accessory? Because I just find it difficult to use. I wouldn't be explaining why, but that's just me finding it difficult. Instead, I placed the Ulanzi Quick Release System at the end of my Osmo Pocket 2, creating a tripod replacement. But it comes with more uses. Because I have so many quick release systems everywhere, I am now able to mount my Osmo Pocket 2 on any tripod, any selfie stick, on any bag or any bicycle, anywhere in an instant. And trust me, this is the reason why I bring my Osmo Pocket 2 everywhere, anywhere. This is the game changer for me. Now, if you like an all-in-one solution, right, you are looking at it already. The Osmo Pocket 2 by DJI can pretty much satisfy all your needs, whether you are a business owner, a new vlogger, you are straight out of school, or while you are still in school and your parents want to buy you an expensive Christmas gift, birthday gift or something like that. This is an all-in-one solution. I'd rather you just buy, if you are on a tight budget, I'd rather you just buy the entire set over here, and with some extra money, right, invest in some cheap lighting like the one that I'm using over here. And honestly speaking, I have seen many successful YouTubers or TikTokers or whatsoever using mid-range quality equipment and still making it very big in life. So you don't really need huge amounts of megapixels, super low aperture, but you do need good sound quality. And this package has everything for you. If you would like to check out some of the video quality that the Osmo Pocket 2 can give you, please feel free to check the rest of my channel, as most of my videos are shot on the Osmo Pocket 2. And just to let you guys know, I have been using this Osmo Pocket 2 for about 6 months, and it has been less than a year since I went really serious on this YouTube channel. And as of today, we already have close to 1,500 subscribers and more than 3,000 watch hours. So if you think this thing can't get you very far, yes, it can. And oh yes, I think I would be creating one more YouTube video talking about all the features I wish the Osmo Pocket 3 will have, and that should be a pretty short video. I hope this review is useful for you. If you have any questions or any comments, please feel free to leave it in the comments below and I'll try my best to answer you as best as I can. If you like this video, please remember to hit the subscribe button, the notification bell. That would really help me a lot. So feel free to check out my other videos in the meantime. Have a nice day and bye! Oh my god, this product is difficult to review.